There were so many takeaways from last night's Game 1 victory over the Miami Heat. Ty Jerome was unstoppable. Darius, Garland, and Donovan Mitchell both had it going as they combined for 57 total points. Jarrett was phenomenal on the glass. I mean, take your pick. But among the many takeaways, one takeaway truly stands out, or rather sticks out like a sore thumb, and that, my friends, was the elite defensive play of one Sam Hoskins Merrill. But before we dig into the details, do you play a favor and smash that like button, subscribe to keep the NBA content coming, and hit that notification bell so you stay locked in. Ladies and gentlemen, Sam Merrill is known for many things, with his propensity to shoot the lights out probably being at the top of the list. And while he did knock down some beautiful and timely shots against Miami in Game 1, his biggest contributions came on the less glamorous end of the court. Money Merrill was fully locked in on the defensive end as he made life difficult on Davion Mitchell, went toe-to-toe with a taller, more athletic wing in Andrew Wiggins, and absolutely shut down one of the NBA's best volume shooters in that of Tyler Herro. Let's start with Davion Mitchell. Now, as I noted in my preview of this series, Davion Mitchell has quietly been one of the NBA's more effective drivers since being acquired as part of the massive Jimmy Butler deal. He entered the postseason with the league's 8th most assists off of drives and has shot over 51% when doing so on good volume at over 102 total attempts on 327 total drives since coming over. He's been legit. Merrill was incredibly effective in isolation against Mitchell as he took on the contact initiated by Mitchell, who was never really able to truly shake him. He was typically attached at the hip. In the event that he was able to blow past him, Merrill was able to recover fairly quickly and either provide a solid contest or reject the shot from behind. All in all, he was credited with limiting Mitchell to 1 of 3 from the field and often forced him to move the ball. And this is notable because Merrill did not grade that highly as a perimeter isolation defender this year, placing within the 55th percentile. When matched up against Andrew Wiggins, Merrill was able to use the rule of verticality and extend his arms upward in an effort to make the shot attempt as difficult as possible, and it worked. But above all, his best work came as Tyler Herro's primary defender, and this can be heavily attributed to maybe his best skill as a defender, his screen navigation, an area in which he plays within the 92nd percentile and within the 100th percentile in off-ball chaser defense. Merrill is as slippery, slithery, and as elusive as they come and seems to have some sort of preternatural sense of where the screener is coming from or where they will be once a pick and roll or DHO set is initiated. He is adept at angling his body in such a precise fashion that he rarely gets caught up on a screen. He's great at hedging, and that was on full display against Herro in Game 1, in which he was playing the sharpshooter extremely closely, like white on rice. If you watch tape on Merrill for an extended period of time, you will indeed notice immediately that Merrill rarely plays off his man and sort of always seems to close the gap. But one of the more impressive developments was his ball denial in regards to Herro. There were numerous possessions in which it was pretty obvious that Miami was attempting to get him the ball, but just couldn't because of how well Merrill was able to navigate the screens being thrown his way. These are the types of things that don't really show up in any traditional stat sheet. But honestly, none of this should come as a surprise to anyone who has watched Merrill play this year and to a lesser extent last season. This season, he has been credited with limiting his matchups to a combined 43.5% from the field. Among the 239 players who've defended at least 500 shots, that is the 20th best mark, my friends. In regards to position groups, he's limited fours to 45.3%. That isn't terrible, but it's clear even with something as simple as the eye test that he can be taken advantage of by taller, more athletic wings. That much is fair. However, he's been exceptional when defending guards, limiting them to a collective 41.6%. That is also one of the better marks in the league. In other words, he's always been a solid defender. It's just his size that can be exploited at times. One thing is for certain, Sam Merrill needs to be respected more for his ability to defend. And if anything, this just goes to show that he is more than simply just a shooter. Go Cavs.